Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today I am building in the world of Tartosa and we're going to be creating what I think I'm going to be calling an Italian villa. It's at least based off of that sort of design, and it was really inspired by the fact that we got nectar making with the Sims 4 horse ranch, and I thought that this lot would be the perfect place to build something for a sim who maybe does a little bit of nectar making, wine making, and so that was the whole idea behind it. I based this a lot off of architecture that I was finding online for like Italian villas. So that is where all of the inspiration came from. Just off lot here, we do have some of the like grapevines, and I used some more on this lot and made a really cute like side yard with it. I'm excited to show you that. Also, you might recognize this build if you are a follower of mine on Twitch, because I did stream the first half of this build over on twitch.tv/Gryphi. If you'd like to join us in the future, I am currently in the process of trying to come back to Twitch because I disappeared for a little while because of some real life stuff, but I'm currently trying to fix that schedule. So if you'd like to join us in the future, I do normally stream 3 to 5 days a week over on twitch.tv/Gryphi, and I would love to have you join us. Also, if you hear any abrupt crashing in the background of this video, in this voiceover, I apologize. I recently adopted a kitten, and she currently sees a fly in the office, and she is doing everything she can to catch the fly. So, apologies if you hear that. But anyway, the outside of this build is starting to come together. I really like the shape I went for here, and the landscaping was really fun as well. I like the trees and stuff that come with the world of Tartosa. They're actually in the live edit objects catalog. I sometimes will get questions about where I get landscaping because it's not something you can see. It's locked behind a few different sheets. You can enter bb.show hidden objects and then also bb.show live edit objects. And then if you type in debug, you can access those items. The only reason it looks easier here and I'm filtering over in the bottom right hand corner is I'm using a mod called Better Build By, which is by Twisted Mexi. It's linked in the description down below, but it just makes it easier to go ahead and navigate all of that sort of stuff. And since I use it in like all of my builds, I figured it was probably a good idea to get that mod, and I've been using it for months now and I really, really like it. So I would highly recommend it if you are thinking about it. It's a fantastic mod. But yeah, over here it felt like it was missing something. So I added this little bump out that's sort of diagonal, and I think it worked out perfectly because that's actually where we're going to end up putting the dining table, which I really liked. I also got this little awning over the front door, which is from Jungle Adventure. That's also where the roof tile is from. And I'm using a combination of windows here. We have some base game ones, some from my wedding stories, a couple of them from the horse ranch pack as well. This is not a limited pack build by any means, but I am open to doing one of those soon. I actually kind of want to build something base game, but I guess we shall see. I have a couple of things in the works that I'm excited to share. I've been doing a lot of apartments lately because that's kind of where I've been having the most fun decorating. But I'm always open to your suggestions on what you would like to see on the channel. I'd love to implement some more of those as I continue to get back into the swing of things. And yeah, so this is where I'm creating that little side yard I mentioned using the grapevines. I combined them with this fence and I ended up making like this tunnel of grapevines, which is so cool. It just kind of happened. I didn't know what I was going for yet, and I just started drawing out fences and rotating these and trying to line them up here. And then I ended up having archways on either side, and it just looks so cute and like kind of romantic. And that's sort of what I wanted to do with this. I'm pretty sure I said this is just a residential, but you could definitely have this home as a rental if you'd prefer to. I'm pretty sure in the automatic like version of this world, like what comes with the game, this lot is a rental lot. So it'd be a very easy thing to go ahead and do. I could see this being a nice honeymoon spot. And I think technically these arches I'm using are wedding arches, if I'm remembering correctly, but that's not what I was using them for. But that would be a really pretty place to get married, right in front of all of those vines. Oh, I love the idea of that. And also this lot has such an amazing view of Tartosa. It's like right over the water and like the main city area. And it's just so pretty. I really, really like it. And you're kind of far from actually getting to the water though, so I thought having a pool back here would be a nice idea. So we will be adding that here shortly. Just trying to figure out the shape of the backyard. I didn't want it to just be a square, so I was trying to figure out the best way to lay that out. And then I start drawing out the pool, which once again, at first, I really didn't want it to just be a square. So I tried like a funky shape, but I didn't end up keeping that in the end because it just looked a little bit odd. I'm pretty sure I didn't anyway, or maybe I did. Maybe it's just not exactly how I kept it at the beginning. But I did really like this tile that I put around the pool. This is just a base game one that we got some new swatches on, and I think it is so pretty. Oh wait, I did keep the shape. I think I was thinking it was going to be more narrow than that, and then I was thinking about changing it, and then I didn't change it. It's funny how I will remember my thought process going into a voiceover of what I was thinking when I was creating a build, but not always what I actually finish the build with, like what the final decision is. But I think the pool looks really nice. And then I was thinking about having some more of these awnings here, but I decided to get rid of them in the end because I put a pergola back here instead, which is from base game. And I just think it looks so beautiful. I really love this item. And anytime I can get myself to use it, I am so happy that it'll fit in. So just adjusting the roof and getting some columns to separate these two wallpapers, and then changing out some of the windows to use these ones from base game instead, so that we could have some arched windows. And then I'm getting a couple more trees that you can see in the background of this world. I think they are so pretty, and it really helps to make this lot feel like it fits into its environment, to have like the same surrounding trees. I even got some of the palm trees and the vines growing up the buildings. These little low-lying flowers are not from this area. I believe these are the ones from Horse Ranch, but I really wanted to have some more greenery here, and they fill in the space so nicely. So I grabbed those and then just tried to fill everything else in and make it look organic, I suppose. I also like shoved a tree into the ground using the tool mod so that we would have the pink flowers above ground, and I thought it looked really pretty that way. And then just getting some more greenery. I spent quite a lot of time on the exterior of this build before we head inside, but I think that's okay. I always really like to make sure I'm pretty happy with the outside before I work on the inside. So here I decided to have some more of these little stones going through the little walkway over here. I thought it would look so pretty like this, and I'm really glad I decided to do that. It feels like just a nice little detail that makes this space feel a little bit more special. So just doing that here now. I did cut out a little bit of the landscaping. Most of it in the front is there, but like the side yard and stuff, filling that in with bushes, I did cut some of that out because it was getting rather repetitive. But in the back here, you can see I added a floaty to the pool, some loungers, a nice table and chair set, as well as a barbecue, and we get an outdoor trash can and some lighting out here as well. So I'm just popping around the build to add a variety of lighting on the walls as well as in the bushes, so that it's not so dark out here. I sometimes, actually quite often, I forget to do outdoor lighting. So when I do, I always feel really good about it because it makes such a difference in the outside of a build. Like, all of this light at nighttime just looks so nice. And I ended up putting a bunch of it through that little walkway as well, which I don't think I show on camera, but it really adds to the atmosphere at night. And then I'm out in the backyard now again, just getting an umbrella over the loungers. I thought that would be a nice touch. And I believe, yeah, we just get a rug under this table as well, which is probably not like the most realistic, although there are outdoor rugs. I've gotten one outdoor rug before, and I put it on my balcony in my current apartment, and it disintegrated. So I don't know how good outdoor rugs are, or maybe I just got a really bad one. I'm not sure, but that's my only experience with outdoor rugs, is it fully disintegrated on my balcony. Anyway, working on the floor plan now. Upstairs, there are 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. I believe I set one of these bedrooms up to be an office, though. So you could definitely change that to be 2 bedrooms. And I think I'm going to list this as 2 bedrooms because that's basically what it is. I just didn't put a bed in that one. So it's a really easy change. But there is so much space in this house. It's a kind of weird floor plan. And there's definitely room to go ahead and move some stuff around to get some more bedroom space if you'd like to, because there's kind of 2 living rooms, which is kind of hard to explain. So when you first walk in, there's going to be this room that has archways leading to it. Not the one we're working on now. There's going to be another one right here. This one is going to be like a piano room. We're going to have a grand piano in here, and it's just like a pretty showroom. And then the room next to it is going to be the living room. And then out in the back here, I end up having a nectar making room as well as another bathroom in here, and a really big kitchen. And there's just like a lot of space that's kind of questionable use of the space. But I also really liked it because it's different than what I typically do. And that's what I was going for. So I hope you will like it. Speaking of which, I know we're pretty far into the video already now, but if you do like this build and you'd like to download it, it will be available on the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi. GRYPHI. You can also find it under the hashtag Gryphi, and that info will also be in the description down below as well. But moving on to the kitchen now, I decided I wanted to use these countertops from Realm of Magic. Unfortunately, they don't have a matching cabinet piece, so I did have to use these base game ones. But I think it worked out okay in the end, and I really like how this kitchen came out. Honestly, how the whole house came out. I think the warm wood tones throughout are just so cozy, and it's helping me get in the mood for fall, which I fully am in the mood for. I'll probably do some autumnal builds sometime soon, but I just think this space looks so warm and inviting, and I am so excited to show it off now, especially like the tiles in the kitchen. Oh my gosh, they are so beautiful. I believe those are also from Jungle Adventure. I used quite a bit of that pack in here, I'm pretty sure. But just getting some more of these cabinet pieces. We also have a nice range hood over the oven or the stove and oven. They're both right there. And then just getting some cabinet pieces and decorating this little like fake island I created with a couple of side tables from Cats and Dogs, and trying to figure out if I should have cabinets over here or what I should do. And then I also filled in this like nook under the window with some more cabinets to fill in the space to make it look like built-in storage, which I thought looked really nice. And this is that dining table I had mentioned. So I'm just using a dining table from the Laundry Day stuff pack paired with some chairs from, I believe those are from Discovery University. And I also got a barrel for aging nectar over on the counter, which I thought was really nice. And I grabbed a couple of nectar bottles from Debug as well. And of course, I need to get my cutting boards. I put those in every build at this point. I just can't help myself. They look so nice. They're a nice decor piece, and they don't take up any slots on counters. So it's a nice way to decorate your space without having to worry about your Sims not being able to use the counters. So that's the main reason I use them. They look nice and they don't take up space. I also added a little lamp in the corner here, as well as some canisters, a place to dry dishes. And that's mostly it for the kitchen and dining space. I'm going to be going back in there to decorate above those like built-in cabinets here shortly. But I do start working on the living room as well and try and figure out like what sort of couches and stuff I want to have in there. But we'll figure that out in time. It did take me a little while. Over here, though, I do add a plant and a shelving unit on the wall that has some equipment to make like coffee. And then this is that living room space. I really like the archways that lead into that piano room. I think it's just such a nice focal point. And this giant fireplace as well. I don't end up keeping these couches or that coffee table, but they're part of the process, so I left it in so it wasn't confusing as to like why all of a sudden all of the furniture was here. So I did at first think I was going to use these couches because they are really simple and comfortable looking, but I did stay with base game, but I ended up going with these, which are a little bit like fancier in my opinion. So I thought that they looked quite nice here, and we're just going to try and decorate around them and add a lot of texture and color into the space. I really wanted to use a lot of like reds and greens, which is kind of an odd color combo, but I think it worked quite nicely here with the red flowers, the green wall and curtains. I also added quite a few lamps in this space and just a lot of really pretty deep colors. I'm really happy with how this room came out. It did take me way longer than it looks like it does on screen. I ended up having to stop and start again so many different times because I could not figure out how to make this space work. But I think it came together okay in the end, including having the mirror and the painting on the same wall. This room does not have a television, though. I don't think this house has a television. I might be wrong on that, but I know that this room doesn't, which is not something I do very often. I tend to make that sort of the focal point in living rooms, but for some reason in this house, I thought it was fine not to. You have a beautiful view out the backyard anyway of the water. And then I decided to put a bunch of these nectar racks here. The weird thing is, though, the ones that were 3 high up disappeared and I couldn't get them to come back. So that's kind of frustrating, but you can store a lot of nectar there regardless. I also got the chess table, and then we're working on the entryway where I just have like a side table, a really pretty rug, and we also have a mirror and, like entryway stuff. So getting a coat rack over here and a couple of decorations on the side table as well. I really like that side table. It's the same one that I used 2 of them in the kitchen as like an island from Cats and Dogs. I think it's a really pretty piece, and it just worked quite nicely here. Also, another thing that's interesting is how many wood tones I used in this house. Sometimes I feel like it really looks bad when you have clashing wood tones, but I feel like there's a lot in this space and it works. I think it also helps that the door and the door frame for the front and back door are also different wood tones, so it kind of sets that whole tone of having many different wood tones throughout the entire home. So you can let me know what you think if I achieved an okay look with that. Also, I used pretty much tile throughout this whole house. I thought it looked really, really pretty here, and I've been really enjoying the new swatches on some of our tiles because I think I'm using the base game one here. I also wanted to figure out how else I could put more items in this room, how to, lay it out. It's not like a super functional room, but I do have the piano as well as a bookcase in here. There's a place to sit down by the ottoman. And I believe, I put an umbrella stand by the back door. So if you want to grab an umbrella for when your Sims are out in the rain, that is there. And then this is right off of the kitchen. It just has the nectar making station and a couple of decals on the walls. And I think maybe a couple of tapestries as well. I kept it very, very simple in there because it's a small room. But I wanted to make sure we had the station to actually make the nectar since I had such a focus on that throughout the rest of this house. You could add a basement here if you'd like to. I didn't feel like there was a good spot to go ahead and do that, but that is something you could definitely add to this build if you would like to play here. I could see that working quite well, but this is the downstairs bathroom. It's one of 2 bathrooms in the house. I didn't show the upstairs one, I don't think, because it's pretty much the same fixtures, just in a different orientation because the one upstairs is slightly smaller, but I think these all work together quite nicely. The sink is from Horse Ranch. I think it's a really nice piece. And I'm actually pretty happy with how many of the items from Horse Ranch I've been able to use so far in builds that are not for Chestnut Ridge. So I was happy about that. But we are upstairs now, and you can see the other bedroom or the other bathroom is already done. And then I am working on our first bedroom, which I really wanted to have like a green theme, bring in that green wallpaper from downstairs or the green paint. And I thought about using this bed, but I'm pretty sure I don't use that one in the end. I think I used this one instead from Horse Ranch and bring in this red color. And I was just really embracing all of the different colors in this space, the reds and the greens together. And I think it looks so, so pretty. I also got a couple of paintings up above the bed. I scaled this one ever so slightly with Tool because at its normal size, it has a really harsh shadow. But when you scale it up, the shadow goes away. So I thought that was a nifty little trick to make that look a little bit nicer. So just doing that and getting some clutter on either bedside table to make it look a little bit more lived in. And I believe I grabbed my favorite mirror. Yeah, one of my favorite mirrors in the game now. I have 2 of them. It's this one and the one from Jungle Adventure, but this one is from the Basement Treasures kit. And then I'm using our new wardrobe from Horse Ranch. I think it is so, so pretty. I love the curve at the top. It kind of mimics the windows. And then that is it for that primary bedroom. And then at first I was thinking this was going to be a kid's room or like a baby's room, but it ended up being an office in the end. And I'm really happy I decided to do that. It's got a blue and red theme to it, which is quite fun. And now this house has a computer, which is kind of important for your Sims to have for a lot of their day-to-day stuff and their jobs. So I think it was a good choice to have this in this space, but this is the room that you could go ahead and change up for whatever Sims you have in this house. If you would like to add another bedroom for a kid or a relative, roommate, whatever you'd like, it is available. But that is pretty much it for this build. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more and click that bell to be notified when I upload. Thank you so very much for watching. Enjoy those screenshots, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone. Thank you.